Hello dear students, welcome you all for power system operation and control class. So continue with the voltage and reactive power control. Today we are going to see the interconnected system. So you can see in this figure that is 8.6a where the two generators are connected and its phasor diagrams are shown in the figure 6.8.6b and c. So in this figure 8.6a you can see there is a generator G1 which is having its own transformer and the voltage at V1, and load for that one is P1 plus JQ1, which is connected to the second system which is having generator G2 with its own transformer and load as P2 plus JQ2, and the voltage at the load is V2. Both the systems are connected using a system reactance JX. Okay, so you can see in 8.6 B and C the phasor diagrams. One is case of V1 is greater than V2, another one is a case of V1 is smaller than the V2. Fine. Now we have seen that the scalar voltage difference between the two nodes is given by delta V is Rp plus XQ divided by V. This we are knowing. Okay. In case if X is greater than R, very much greater than R, then Q is determined by the delta V. So you can see in the figure 8.6a, let us assume that the phase angle of the G1 is ahead of G2 and V1 is greater than V2. This means that there is flow of active and reactive power from the system 1 to 2 or from the unit 1 to 2. From the figure 8.6b, we can see that ID, the component of the current which is in phase with V, that is called direct axis current, okay, is determined by delta, and the active power P depends on ID. Hence, it is purely depends on delta. Means the active power P is depends upon the angle delta, because actually active power is depends upon the current ID and ID is depends upon the delta. So we can tell that the active power P depends upon delta. Likewise, IQ, the component of the current in quadrature to the V, that is quadrature axis current, depends on mainly the difference of V1 and V2, that is V1 minus V2. Hence, Q depends on the voltage difference. If we know vary the generator excitation such that V2 is greater than V1. In previous case, what we assumed is V1 is greater than V2. Now we will assume that, or change the excitation such a way that V2 is greater than V1. Then the direction of the reactive flow is reversed. That is from 2 to 1. Thus, the direction of the active power flow can be controlled by the adjusting the prime mover input, and the direction of the reactive power flow can be controlled by adjusting the excitation of the generator. If R is very smaller than X, these two operations are independent of each other. From the equation 8.16, that is delta V is equal to Rp plus XQ by V, we can see that if the reactive power demand at bus is heavy, this has to flow the connecting lines. Hence, the voltage of the bus falls. On the other hand, if reactive power is generated, the voltage of the bus will rise. This is a very common conclusion. That is, reactive power is generated and the voltage on the bus is going to rise. If we make reactive power Q is equal to 0, then there will no voltage drop between the bus 1 and 2. So from the equation 8.16, we can write the expression for the receiving end and reactive power as Q2 is equal to V2 delta V minus Rp2 by X. I have changed that one. Okay, you can see V is taken to delta V, and if you take the Rp to the other hand, so that will become minus. For the second bus we are finding, that's what we are taking Q2 and P2. Fine. If we keep V1 and V2 are constant, then delta V is also constant. Then we can write that Q2 is equal to K minus R by XP2, where the V2 by V term will become constant there. So this is the equation 8.18. The implication of the equation 8.18 is, number 1, if we need to hold V2 constant with varying P2 and Q2 as given by equation 8.12 must be supplied. If that the amount of Q2 cannot be supplied, then V2 cannot be held constant. if P2 changes by an amount of delta P2, then equation changes that delta Q2 is equal to R by X into delta P2. This is the equation 8.19. So it is obvious that the increase in P2 causes an increase in Q2 proportional to R by X. Thus the voltage can be controlled by injection of reactive power of correct sign. So this is what the final conclusion, that in interconnected system or in this voltage reactive power control, the change in the real power P2 causes an increase in Q2 with the proportional to R by X. So thus the voltage control can be done by the injection of the reactive power of correct sign, whether plus or minus. So we will see one problem here now. You can see the example 8.3 figure is given here. A, B, C, D, E, you can see in between many reactants are shown. It's a two circuit line. It is same values are there. That is 220 bar 11 kV system. It is A from the point A it is 220 kV, but the point E it is 11 kV. In between step down transformers are there to make the required step down, and at middle at the C bus there is a 100 megawatt load is there with the 0.8 power factor lag. The problem is, consider the transmission system as shown in figure 8.7. The per unit values are referred to the respective voltage bases and the 100 MVA base. Determine the power supplied by the generator and its power factor. First, the reactance of C to E, because there is a from C to E you can see it is a double circuit line where 0.15 per unit and 0.1 per unit is there. So similar things are, two lines are connected. You are knowing that when it is connected in parallel, it is taken by divided by 2. Then it is nothing but 0.125 per unit. Same thing A to C. Here also same identical two lines are there. So we can get it as 1 and 0.1 and plus 0.04 divided by 2. You will get 0.07 per unit. So at the receiving end bus, we are knowing that P is equal to 100 megawatt. We consider it as 1 per unit, and Q is 0 because of unity power factor. So I square is given by P square plus Q square divided by V square. You will get 1 per unit. The reactive power loss from C to E is I square X, or it is nothing but 1 into 0.125 per unit. So we are going to get 0.125 per unit. At the bus C, we add the load powers and loss in C to E. Since R is 0, there is no real power loss. The load at C is 1 plus J 0.75 per unit. Therefore, at C, we can tell P is equal to 1 plus 1, that is 2 per unit, and Q is 0.75 plus 0.125, that is 0.875 per unit. Loss in AC is given by the same equation, 2 square plus 0.875, that is P square plus Q square divided by V square. We will get that multiplied by 0.07, we will get 0.333 per unit. Q at A, that is reactive power at A, is nothing but 0.875 plus 0.333, that is losses included. Then it is 1.208 per unit. The generator must supply real power of 2 per unit and reactive power of 1.208 per unit. The generator power factor is 0.856. So this is regarding your interconnected system. In the next class, we will see the sensitivity of the voltage changes in P and Q. So for the time being, you try to understand this concept. If you find any difficulties, you can ask. Thank you.